Draft regulations to protect local labour are being considered. The regulations will form part of the Employment Services Act. It aims to ensure employers consider South Africans before foreign nationals for job opportunities. Expat Web is part of the discussions to shape the regulations. Marissa Jacobs joins us now. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Marissa. Let's talk about what this Section 8 of the Employment Services Act actually entails. What is the department looking to do here?
Sure. The Section 8 of the Act looks specifically at employing foreign nationals. In these regulations, they specifically focus on work permits, corporate visas. Those are the visas that are issued to big corporates who are looking to bring in big groups of foreign nationals, and then skills transfer plan. I think we recently hosted the Department of Labour and Department of Home Affairs at the IPM convention last year, and it invoked very interesting discussions where we all have a common goal in terms of promoting the country, growing the economy, and leaving a better country behind for our children. And we all have different ways of achieving that. I think Department of Labour seek to protect the jobs of South Africans as they should, and create more jobs. Department of Home Affairs, on the other hand, are looking to attract critical skills and promote and attract and retain those critical skills from foreign nationals, which in turn will also grow the economy and certainly also not only grow the economy but attract foreign direct investment into the country.
How does that recruitment of critical skills then stand to be affected? Because under this new legislation, or at least the draft regulation, it seeks that the processes or the result of employing a foreign national must require that the local candidates, the process of procuring local candidates has been completely exhausted.
Correct. But that's been the case all along. You have to exhaust the local market. I think the regulations are just seeking to more proactively from Department of Labour give employers better guidelines on how to do that. And then also, of course, once Labour has approved that and said, yes, you indeed must bring in a foreign skill because it doesn't exist in South Africa, then surely the employer should have a responsibility to transfer those skills, to make sure that in future we do actually have these skills in South Africa and are able to employ a South African. But it certainly creates tension between Labour and Home Affairs, and that's why we must comment so that we can create that balance again.
And the requirements also for the work and corporate visa seems to have been upped a notch too.
Correct. So if I may mention specific things,
sure,
it mentions registration with a professional body for those seeking to apply for general work visas and corporate visas, where it's of a professional level. That has only been required for critically skilled individuals in the past. It looks at the adverts that must be placed that now have additional requirements on how it must be placed, the period it must be placed for. And then it also gives a bit of timelines, which I think is very important. It says Labour must respond within 10 days, which I think is ambitious, but then reciprocally, businesses must respond within 10 days.
All right. Let's talk then about these critical skills, which is always the important conversation around which occupations are covered under those critical skills.
Correct. So in 2014, the last list was published. It's being updated now. The former minister said that the new list will be published in April. There's been much discussions about it. Department of Higher Education recently published their list, which will give big input. So it's being revised at the moment. So we're all waiting with bated breath to see exactly what it will look like.
All right. How can the public then also add its voice? Because, we also are living in a country where, depending on where you are, there is a perception that it's easier for foreign nationals to get work in South Africa. You go to our local townships, often you have incidents of, xenophobic attacks that are taking place against foreigners. So there certainly does seem to be pockets of negative perceptions around the presence of foreign nationals and the extent to which they're able to access, the local market for opportunity. So as South Africans, how do we get involved in this process so that it also fosters greater understanding around why foreign nationals would be employed to begin with?
Of course. I think it rests with business. Business needs to, when a forum like this is opened up, give comment, explain on the regulations exactly what it is, why you're attracting foreign talent. The Immigration Act is written in a very specific way to only be able to bring in foreign talent when local has been exhausted or when a skill is needed that doesn't exist in South Africa. So the Immigration Act seeks to protect local labour, and I think the involvement of the Department of Labour further strengthens that intention.
And where can people go? What is your involvement in this whole process?
So as a business, we are collating responses from all different, because we always find that it's better to not go as one voice. Let's say 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 businesses have participated. These are the collective views of those businesses. So as a central point of contact, we are collating those responses, putting it together in a formal submission for consideration.
All right. Let's leave it there for tonight. Marissa Jacobs, she is Director and Head of Immigration and Mobility at Expat Web.